With an incredible lack of good MMOs coming out recently, I thought it was a good idea to take a look at Steam, see what the most popular MMOs are there, and why. Alrighty, so I've got my fancy little document here that I put together, took a bunch of screenshots, got review numbers and player numbers as of on a Wednesday afternoon, just mid-afternoon when people are working. What are the kind of numbers that we're going to see with all these MMOs? So, I went with traditional kind of MMOs, right? So full-on MMORPGs, not MMO lights, not MMOs where you kind of have an instance where you run into maybe, you know, anywhere from like 4 to 8 to up to like, I don't know, 40 players. I'm talking full-on MMOs where you're on a server with hundreds or even maybe thousands of players. So let's go down the list. First up, Final Fantasy XIV, release date 2013. Actually, that is the Realm Reborn release date. Final Fantasy XIV, interesting little bit of background to that game. It came out in 2010, actually, but it was absolutely horrible. The state of the game was just disastrous, and they decided to basically rebuild the whole game, and that's where we got A Realm Reborn. So 3 years later, after the rebuild, is A Realm Reborn. That's the 2013 release date we see there, and then Steam's release date is 2014. So, Final Fantasy XIV, as of, like I said, on a Wednesday afternoon, maybe people are still working, and there's 28,000 players playing right now, with a 24-hour high of 34,000. So its all-time peak is 95,000 players on Steam. That's pretty good. And this is just on Steam, mind you. I think a lot of Final Fantasy XIV players, maybe even most of them, are on the Final Fantasy XIV client. They have their own client for this MMO. So these numbers are pretty good just for being like an afterthought they put the game on Steam for people who prefer to use Steam. So pretty decent numbers there. And this is the most popular traditional MMO, like full-on MMORPG on Steam right now. So we've got recent reviews, 79% positive, and then all reviews, 87% positive. And one other thing I want to show is how often these games receive updates or expansions. And so for Final Fantasy XIV, just a quick Google search, we got Heaven's Ward, an expansion in 2015, Stormblood in 2017, Shadowbringers 2019, Endwalker 2021, and Dawn Trail in 2024. So every 2 to 3 years, they're putting out an expansion, so this game is receiving very regular expansions and updates. Okay, so on to the Elder Scrolls Online, release date 2014, and it seems like the release dates coincided, so there was no separate release date versus Steam release date. So 2014 there, Elder Scrolls Online, 12,500 players for a random Wednesday afternoon, not bad. 14,000 players is the 24-hour high, with a almost 50,000 player all-time high. And that's pretty decent numbers. For Elder Scrolls, I would have thought that it would be higher, but I've played a little bit of the Elder Scrolls Online, and I could see how it doesn't appeal to all MMO players, especially that first-person view might be a little bit off-putting. So here we go. So recent reviews, 76% positive. All reviews, 83% positive. So overall, this game's pretty well liked from the people who've played it. Okay, I'm on the Elder Scrolls Online Wikipedia page here, and it seems there's a lot of expansions, actually. So 2017, there was one, the Morrowind expansion, 2018, Somerset, 2019, Elsewhere, 2020, Greymore, 2021, Blackwood, 2022, High Isle, 2023, Necrom, 2024, Gold Road. So it seems every year there's been an expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, so it seems like there's a lot of content there to be played. Okay, we've got Black Desert. It used to be called Black Desert Online, and at some point they dropped the word online. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe the game changed a bit at that point, and that's when they dropped it. I'm not really sure, but... So Black Desert, released in 2014, Steam release date 2017. It's got 12,000 players on the Wednesday afternoon here. 13,500 is their high, and then 60,000 players was their all-time high. So pretty decent numbers again, right? They've got a community there that's holding strong. Recent reviews, 71% positive. All reviews, 76% positive. So it's not a failing grade by any means, right? So it's passable. In the 70s, people like it. They like it decently. So there's the Medaya expansion that came out the 30th of March 2016. And that was in NA, and then there was also, it seems there was another expansion, the Valencia expansion that came out 29th of June 2016. So the same year, 3 months later, another expansion came out. And then nothing for a long time. And then there was a major content update that included some new regions and stuff in April 6, 2022. And then that's it. So there's been 3 expansions, and they were very, very spread apart. So that gives you kind of an idea of how much this game is kind of cared for by the creators, by the developers. It does not get big updates or big expansions very often at all. Okay, next up, we've got a game that I don't really know much about. Albion Online, released 2017, so released on all platforms, I'm assuming, 2017. And about almost 10,000 players, and then the 24-hour high of 11,500. And all-time high of 27,000. So it didn't really ever reach crazy popularity, but it does seem to have a dedicated player base of about, you know, see 10,000 players there. So recent reviews, we've got 75% positive, all reviews 79% positive. So that's pretty decent. For a game that does not seem to be super popular, it's definitely very positively rated. It's almost in the 80s there with the all reviews. So that's pretty good. And just with some quick searches, I wasn't able to find a bunch of listed updates, but it did say that the latest update called Crystal Raiders was released on January 8th, 2024. So it does seem like this game is receiving updates, and this is a very recent one. So that may be an implication that this game is updated regularly. I'm not sure, cannot confirm that. All right, moving on to one of the oldest MMOs still around, MapleStory. This is a 2D MMO, so 2D platformer style. Released in 2003, and then the Steam release date was 2012. This game is still getting 6,000 players, even though it's a very different style, right? So more traditional MMOs are like a third-person view, right? And this 2D platformer MMO still has 6,000 players with a 9,000 player 24-hour high. 13,800 is its all-time high. So recent reviews and all-time reviews, 56% positive for recent, all reviews 63% positive. It seems that there's a lot of review bombing happening here, because Steam is even telling you this product has experienced one or more periods of off-topic review activity. So people are just mad about something that this developer is doing, or something is going on in this community. Players are not happy. That is very clear by these numbers. All right, let's go take a look at some of these reviews and maybe we can learn something. So we got a recommended review here. Great game, but I heavily recommend playing on a heroic server if you aren't a workaholic that makes tons of money. I can totally understand busy grinders that would rather just throw some money at the game with the very little time they have. Totally not hating on the normal servers. But heroic servers, in my opinion, are a much better gaming experience. I was unwilling to play this game for years until I heard about these servers, and they have not disappointed me. Okay? And then some of the negative reviews here, let's take a look. What are people saying? So these people have played quite a lot, these two here. Greedy Company. And then this one, play reboot only for nostalgia purposes, otherwise too pay to win. Okay, so this game and the developers are obviously maxing out on the pay-to-win potential here. So just looking through here, it does seem like this game has received some updates for sure. Not super regularly, but there have been updates to the game. All right, next we've got Guild Wars 2, release date in 2012, Steam release date 2022. So it's got 5,000 concurrent players as of recording, 5,800 is the 24-hour high, and then an all-time high of 8,300. I will mention that this one I know for sure also has its own launcher, so there could be much more players on the actual Guild Wars 2 launcher. I don't know those numbers, I can't tell you that. I'm just going based on Steam here. So Steam numbers, 5,000. So recent reviews, 86% positive. All reviews, 88% positive. People love this game. It obviously has a dedicated community that just loves it. Okay, so this game looks like it gets updated pretty regularly. So we've got Heart of Thorns, came out in 2015. Path of Fire, 2017. End of Dragons came out 2022. Secrets of the Obscure came out 2023. And then Janthier Wilds came out 2024. It seems like they picked up their update cadence in the last few years, which is pretty promising, right? It's nice to see that. So this game is getting updated very regularly. All right, Star Wars The Old Republic, released in 2011. It had 4,800 players at time of recording with a 5,400 player 24-hour high. 34,000 players is the all-time high. I'm not sure if this has its own launcher or not. I think so. I think this game also has its own launcher. I'm not 100% sure about that. But these are decent numbers for an old game. Recent reviews, 87% positive. All reviews, 89% positive. We're almost getting into the 90s with this game. So people obviously love this game. That's insane. Okay, and we've got a list of expansions here. Some of them have dates, some don't, so this is interesting, but it looks like this game has gotten a fair bit of content, the last of which looks like it was in 2022. It's hard to tell because, like I said, some of these don't have dates, but it does seem to be getting updated, at least until 2022, so they may not be giving it updates anymore. Next up is New World. This is a game that I was excited about pre-release. I played the alpha? No, I think I played the beta for this game, and I was pretty excited for it at that time, but I could tell that there were some issues that I was hoping would be worked out before release. They weren't worked out before release. So we have release date 2021. This is one of the, I think this might be the newest one on the list. Yeah, I just had to go back through there and check. This is the newest one on the list. So 3,400 players at time of recording with a 24-hour peak of 4,000. All-time peak was 913,000. It was highly anticipated, and then it just fell flat. So yeah, recent reviews, 45% positive. All reviews, 68% positive. Not looking good. Players are not happy with this game. All-time reviews are decent, right? 68, but still not even a passing grade, right? You get anything below 70 and it's like, well, why? Why is it not doing well? So let's go take a look at some of those reviews. All right, so recommended review here. I have 274 hours in this game, and I think it is a very good game to just chill in. I haven't been forced to PvP to get nice things like I was in Albion Online, and there's plenty of beautiful graphics, sounds, and area to keep you occupied. There are a fair amount of dailies, quests, etc. to do as well. I'm a casual gamer, so I probably don't understand or have experienced why this game is made to sound like it is horrible to some. I just enjoy gaming, and for the investment and time put in, I would say I enjoyed it, and it was worth it. Okay, so let's look at a negative review here. New World is Amazon's attempt at making an MMORPG, and it fails to deliver on a lot of fronts. It is difficult to queue with other players, use certain features, and enjoy the grind. I would not recommend this to anyone in the MMORPG world. Go elsewhere. Alright, so he makes a couple checkbox things here to kind of make it easier to look at, I guess. So graphics are good. Gameplay is good. Audio is good. Audience seems to be everyone. PC requirements. Rich boy. So you're not going to run this on the potato, apparently. Game size will eat 10% of your 1 terabyte hard drive. Yep, that sounds about right. Difficulty, significant brain usage. That's very different from what the other guy said. The other guy said it's very casual friendly. Grind, you'll need a second life for grinding. Story average. Game time to infinity and beyond. But maybe that's good. Maybe that's good. There's a lot of things that you can do. A lot of grinding to be done. Price, if it's on sale. Bugs can get annoying. Overall, a 5 out of 10. Ouch. I can actually agree with some of the things that this guy's saying here. Yeah, definitely. Because I've played New World a fair bit, and it can be definitely a grind. It's a big game. Yeah, it's not as simple as the first guy was making it if you're trying to actually do anything in the game. And yeah, the story is definitely average, not very good. So I can agree with a lot of this. Good reviews overall. So New World hasn't really had any expansions so far. There is one, The Rise of the Angry Earth, that was released in 2023. That's about it. There has been updates, but not really expansions until here. And that's understandable, I suppose, because it just came out in 2021. But the game is receiving regular updates. So next we have EVE Online, released in 2003. This is another very old MMO, and it's received regular updates. It used to look very bad, and now it looks, it's decent. It looks pretty good, especially for a space MMO. It looks pretty cool. It has 3,000 players at time of recording, with a 3,700 player 24-hour high, and 10,000 players is their all-time high. So not like the craziest numbers ever, but there is a dedicated player base for EVE Online. I'm aware of this, at least. So recent reviews, 71% positive. All reviews, 73% positive. So people like it decently. Oh my goodness, has this game been updated. Okay, so this game has definitely received regular updates. I'm not going to go through them all here, but you can just take a look here. It's had many updates since 2003 all the way to 2023. A very recent expansion there, Havoc. So yeah, this game is definitely getting updated regularly, so that's good to see. All right, so they changed the name. It used to be called RuneScape 3, but this is the newer release of RuneScape. So that's what this one here is. It was released in 2013 with a Steam release of 2020. At time of recording, it had 2,800 players and a 2,900 player 24-hour high. And then the all-time high was 12,500 players. So, recent reviews, 75% positive. All reviews, 83% positive. It's pretty well liked. It is pretty well liked. The all-time reviews being in the 80s, that's really good. I mean, it's got a very positive image here. Now, I wasn't able to find anything concrete on expansions, but it does look like this game is getting updated pretty regularly. All right, next we've got The Lord of the Rings Online, released in 2007, Steam release date of 2012. This game has kind of a special place in my heart. I played this with a friend that I really got along well with back in the day. We had a lot of fun playing this, even though it's not the most graphically amazing game. But anyway, there's still 1,400 people playing this at the time of recording, 1,700 player 24-hour high, with an all-time high of 3,900 players. And again, I think this game has its own launcher outside of Steam, so there may be more people playing this overall, not sure. Recent reviews, 79% positive. All-time reviews, 81% positive. So it is a pretty well-liked game. Even though it's not super popular or being played super heavily, the people who have been playing it liked it. So it does look like this game has been updated a fair bit, right? So you've got quite a few expansions here from 2008 all the way up to 2023. So it has been updated a fair bit. It's been shown some love, you know, it's gotten some new content. So that's good to know. All right, we've got Star Trek Online, release date 2010. 1,300 players online at time of recording, 1,500 player high of over the 24-hour period, and then an all-time high of 7,900 players. So, for that being said, those low player numbers, it is pretty positively rated here. We've got a 78% from recent reviews and 78% overall. And just after a quick search here, it does look like it's gotten some expansions, but maybe not a lot of them, right? Not a ton of stuff going on here. There was one in 2013, 2014, 2016, and then the latest one is 2018, so not really clear if there's gonna be more expansions. All right, and we've come to the final one, and I had to go to 13, which is just a random number, right? I could have gone to 15 or I could have stopped at 10, but I wanted to go to this one because Old School RuneScape is the first MMO that I ever played. It holds a special place in my heart for that reason. Old School RuneScape players have a saying that you never quit, you just take long breaks. And I think that's very true because I find myself coming back over and over just to check it out, try a couple things, dink around sometimes. And yeah, so Old School RuneScape, released in 2001. The oldest one on this list, and man, it has hung in there. It is just there. It never goes away completely. Steam release date 2013. Old School RuneScape at the time of recording had 1,200 players with a little bit over that 1,200 player high for the 24-hour period and an overall high of 6,000 players. So recent reviews, 46% positive. There must be something going on there because the all-time reviews is 88% positive. So something is going on where the community is not happy or something because there is just a review bomb happening in the recent reviews there. So let's check out some of those reviews and see what we can find. OSRS is arguably one of the best games ever. Unfortunately, this isn't the best client to play OSRS on. The best client, in my opinion, is RuneLite. RuneLite can be accessed via the Jagex launcher. So if you're interested in that, go download the Jagex launcher. However, for Linux users, this is a simple and easy option if they want to play OSRS. There are other ways, but playing through Steam is the easiest for Linux. Okay? Not really a overall view there, just kind of talking about the best way to play, but apparently he likes it, so that's good. All right, let's see what some of the negative reviews have to say. Apparently there's some wokeness in this game. They're asking for no woke here. This one, downvoting for Jagex Ltd, betraying the majority of their player base, ignoring basic biology, and pandering to the woke crowd. Okay. So they have added some wokeness to this game, and people are not happy. Interesting. Okay. Well, that gives a pretty good idea of what's going on with this game. So yeah, it looks like this game is getting really regularly updated. Just going through the OSRS wiki here, there's tons and tons of updates in this list. So that's good to know. Very regularly updated still, even though it's older. So there you go, guys. We got a decent look into the most played MMORPGs on Steam right now. And it looks like the top 3 would be Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, and Black Desert. But all of them, we got a pretty clear look at what's going on, why the players like it, why they don't, and what the player numbers are. So if you guys are interested in any of these MMOs, go check them out on Steam. And thank you for watching, guys.